Welcome, guys. I'm going to make today some whipped honey with some crystallized honey that I have. And I'm also going to make some cream oat cheese. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'm going to use the ingredients that I have before me. This is my container full of my oatmeal. And I also have my containers of crystallized honey. You don't have to get rid of it. You don't have to throw those containers away. All you have to do is get the honey out of there, whip it up, and it will be amazing. Kind of like a spread, a butter. And I'm also going to start soaking my oats so that I can make my oat cream cheese. All right, I'll be back. I'm going to start getting the oats soaked and start trying to get my honey out of my containers. First, I'm going to add a cup of my oats to my blender here, and I'm going to cover it with 4 cups of water and just let it sit there and think about things. And next, I'm going to get some warm water and set my honey inside of it, my honey containers that's crystallized honey, and try and get it a little bit more liquidy so I can get it out of my containers. Other alternative is I hope I don't have to start trying to cut into my containers to get the honey out, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to get some hot water and submerge my containers in some hot water. I am going to pour my hot water that I have here on the stove onto into my bowl. Cover my containers and let it melt the honey. It really is golden, guys. You don't want to throw this stuff away. You're going to be amazed at how much you're going to love whipped honey. So now you know you can do something with your crystallized honey. All right, I'm going to leave that sitting there. Work its magic. I'll be back whenever it's liquidy enough and I can pour it into my little blender, and I'm going to whip it up. Put something on it to keep it down in that hot water so it doesn't pop up. Okay, my honey is actually easier to get out of the container now. I'm going to just leave it upside down for a couple of seconds and let every bit of that drip down, and then I'm going to put in my little food processor and whip it up. Okay, it's looking like it's dripped and ready to go. I'm putting it in the mixer now. I put one of them in there. Got as much as I could out. Now, I'm adding the other one. I gotta take the lid off to get the most out at once. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. I'll leave it propped up and dripping. See what I can get out of there. All right, I finally got as much as I can out of my containers. And there's all the gold deliciousness. I had to use my wooden spoon handle to scrape all the stuff that was stubborn and not coming out. All right, so all I'm going to do is put my mixer on it, whip it up. That's it. And then I have my little mason jars there that I'm going to store it in. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Some really, really good stuff right there, guys. Don't throw your honey containers away. Don't do it. Alright, I've been whipping this for probably about 3 minutes. I think it's good and whipped. Let's take it off and open it up and see what we got. Alright. Look at that, guys. What do you think? I know what I'm thinking. Can't wait to have that on something that I make. All right, I'm gonna pour it into my mason jar. Okay, here it goes. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So good. Guys, don't throw away your honey. If it's crystallized, make it into something great. Look at that. You see what I got out of my crystallized honey containers? There wasn't much in there, I didn't think, but man, you add that to your little mixer and throw some air in there and make it magical. You can keep this on the shelf. It's honey. You know, bacteria can't grow in honey. Anyways, it's good to go. Spread it on anything. It's all natural, healthy, clean. All right, on to my oats. I'm going to turn the blender on with my oats. All right, so now with my oats, I'm going to turn the blender on and let it blend. Whip that in there. Get it good and blended, chopped up, and whipped. And then I'm gonna put it over top of a cheesecloth, a thin dish towel, and then I'm gonna strain all the liquid off. That's gonna be my gold. All right, guys, there it is. I'm gonna turn my blender on and blend it up. I wanna do this for a couple of minutes. Just get everything in there blended well. Now that it's finished, I'm going to pour it over my cheesecloth and strain it. Squeeze all the goodness out of it, but I am not throwing away what's left in my cheesecloth. That's going to be a surprise. All right, I'm just going to pour this in. All of it. I'll let that drain off for a second. I'm going to tighten this up and squeeze all the goodness out of it. Okay. It is squeezed until I couldn't squeeze anymore. And I'm reserving that mash that's left in my cheesecloth. So be prepared. That's going to be some surprise for you. I'm going to incorporate that into one of my dishes. So you definitely want to be looking for that. All right, so I'm going to take my liquid and put it on the stove on low heat. Cook it as I whisk it to thicken it up. And then I'm going to add in some squeezed lemon and a little bit of salt for my cheese that I'm making. All right, I'll be back. Oh, let me get all that stuff out of there. My goodness, I'll be back. All right, I have it on low heat. And I'm just going to whisk it. I want to thicken this up. That's what I'm going to be doing. And it won't take long. You just want to keep it moving. And if it gets too thick in some areas, just whisk it away. All right? Guys, if you're looking for certain recipes, I'm not that person. I just decide to do something and I just do it. I make do with the ingredients that I have. I make something amazing with it. Healthy, delicious, and nutritious. Don't be afraid to take chances. Make cooking exciting and fun in the kitchen, not stressful. I'll let that go. Leave it alone for a minute and come back to it. I'll be back. Look, you can see on the edges of the pan where it's kind of starting to get thicker. Just keep getting that in there, scraping it in, whisk, 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 scrape, scrape, scrape. It's getting closer. It's probably been 5 minutes so far. And it's not as thick as I'd like it, so it's still gonna keep going. But remember, I have this on low. So I'm just cooking this slow and low. But you see how much thicker it's getting, or it's climbing up on the pan and kind of staying there. And guys, looking at this beautiful white color of this oat milk that I have right now, I'm thinking of a shout out to all my friends out there that are having some crazy weather in Louisiana. It's snowing. Can you believe it? Be careful on the roads. It's supposed to be icy. Oh yeah, look at that. Woo, that looks good. A little bit longer. It's starting to get thicker. Remember, you do not want this to burn, guys, so keep it on low. It's going to start bubbling, but you just got to move it. Move it faster. Oh yeah, it's definitely getting thicker. I'm going to add in a little bit of salt, and I'm going to squeeze a half of my lemon in here. I'll be back. I'm actually taking this off the heat for a minute while I'm walking away, just so that I don't burn it. I'll put it back on in a sec. All right, I squeezed in there a half a lemon, and I just gave a good shake of some salt in there. I'm gonna mix it for the last little minute, because it's just about ready, and then I'm gonna put it in my blender and whip it up. Put some air in it, and then I'm gonna put it in the fridge and let it set up. Super simple, guys. You know, you can make something amazing out of oatmeal, right? There's so many things you can do with it. It's a great item to always have on hand in your home. A staple. What I'm looking for to know that it's done is I want a good drip hanging off of my whisk. It's starting to get slower. Just about there. There we go. All right, guys, I'm gonna add this to my blender and finish it up. All right. I'm going to whip this together. Put some air in it, and then put it in the fridge. Look at that. Here we go, round 2, blending it up after we've cooked it on the stove. All I did was add a half of lemon and a good sprinkle of salt in there. Maybe a pinch of salt, and then that's it. Let's blend this. All right, let's see what this looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it into my mason jars. I actually found 2 more little mason jars. And this is going to set up in the refrigerator overnight. All right, I'm gonna just pour it in. There it is. Oh, that one's going to be a mess. Yikes. Let's see, is it going to pour out? Oh no, the perfect amount. Let's go ahead and top this one off. Do I dare? Have a little bit more. All right, let's see. Perfect. There it is. You might want to tune in, guys, tomorrow. I have a feeling you're going to see some of these ingredients that I'm using in our dishes for our breakfast. Join me for our 5 days of oat, 5 different ways. Tomorrow's day number 2. And what do I have in store for you for day number 2? I got a little bit more in there. I might be able to get it in there. All right. Make good, healthy choices. Remember to subscribe, like, and share my channel. And I will see you next time for another healthy dish.